Crafting a good intention, principle number 4. The fourth principle is to take your positive intention and cast it in specific terms, including a time frame when possible. Once you've crafted a positive intention for yourself, see if you can make it more real by identifying specifics with regard to it. Let's return to the intention to choose fruit over cookies. Be specific as to what kind of fruit. Going that extra step of naming apples, bananas, and blueberries as your alternatives create more of the map you need to follow for good health. It creates very specific outcomes for your intelligence to organize around and move toward. The more general, the more ambiguous. Ambiguity can drain energy and invite ambivalence, or, as they say, fudging it. And in this case, you can see where that's going. Clear, predetermined, winning options energize your will and intelligence toward the outcome. Let's look at an intention that's for a mode of being rather than an action. Maybe you want to be more compassionate. Is there a particular person in your life for whom that would make the most difference to you? If so, identify him or her in your intention. Let's say you realize that you feel most bothered by your lack of compassion for your brother. Take a few moments and see if there are specific circumstances in which you have particular difficulty in being compassionate with him. Maybe it's when he's complaining about his job or his wife. Include those specifics. For example, your intention statement for your Raydiant pathway might read, "In order to create a closer relationship with my brother, I intend to be more compassionate when he is complaining about his job." These specifics anticipate a real scenario and help activate and bring forward the dynamics particular to that relationship. Of course, being compassionate with your brother will support your ability to be compassionate in general, as it is likely that the issues triggered by your brother's complaints are triggered by others with similar complaints. But setting the intention to be more compassionate in general cues up the entire universe of possible relationships and situations in which to be compassionate. While it can sound noble, it's difficult for your intelligence to know where to begin and what needs addressing first, as all the scenarios would likely challenge many different internal positions and issues. So while you would benefit from completing a Raydiant pathway for the general intention of being more compassionate, the results of the pathway would be more dilute and perhaps not immediately noticeable. A comparison might be turning a motorboat versus an ocean liner. The more global the intention, the more that needs to take place to bring about the result. Once you've created real-life particulars for your intention, identifying a time frame for the beginning and/or completion of your intention sets boundaries for the action, thereby creating another level of reality for your intelligence to respond to. Notice the difference between saying, "I intend to ride my bike a few miles," and "I intend to ride my bike 3 miles sometime this week." And finally, "I intend to ride my bike 3 miles this Thursday." Notice as you add specifics in space and time, the reality of the intention becomes even more focused and present. This puts you more deeply in touch with the resolve and mental and energetic resources you'll need to fulfill it. This can be both energizing and a little dread-producing. It is the dynamics attached to the dread that we want to bring into the Raydiant pathway for support. Last but not least, all the specifics generated by Principles 3 and 4 give you a way to monitor and track your progress. Research shows that monitoring and tracking your goals supports you in maintaining your willpower. Seeing progress is psychologically supportive, but it also gives your intelligence feedback regarding its strategies for success. We have an innate motivation to succeed with our goals, and our intelligence will strive to make adjustments naturally if provided with the data that such adjustments seem necessary. A simple example is when driving and you detect that you are drifting out of your lane. You likely automatically turn the wheels to bring you back to the center of your lane. While of course it's great when we see ourselves staying on track, it's also important to be aware when we're off track, especially if we seem to be staying off track despite our conscious efforts, an indicator that we need to reach out for more support. Not all desires and intentions are well suited for quantifiable specifics. Experiment with adding and subtracting different specifics to arrive at an intention that feels exciting and energizing. For intentions for changes in modes of being, I recommend you declare the start time frame of now, as it signals that this is not a someday, no day commitment. This completes the videos for the 4 key principles for crafting a good intention. If you find you're unable to arrive at a positive intention for yourself, you can start instead by exploring your complaints. I've provided a video to discover the treasure hidden within each of your complaints, a treasure you don't want to miss out on. We've also provided a wide variety of sample intentions in the areas of intimacy, prosperity, well-being, and more. Simply go to Samples listed in your Intentions menu on your member dashboard.